Brigden of Just Be Creative Cardiology. How are you guys today? It is a wet one out there. Oh my goodness. I ran some errands in town at lunchtime and it was raining so hard that my umbrella blew inside out. So I'm a little little waterlogged there, and it's really dark here because it's so gloomy outside. So I've got lots of lighting going on, so I realize that's kind of making me glow here a little bit. Haven't quite got the perfect lighting solution figured out, but I hope that wherever you are warm and dry and safe. Apparently this big rainstorm that came in last night as part of a nor'easter or something that's coming up the coast. So I'm certainly glad that it's not snow and that it is rain instead. But I have already seen, even just on my way home, I was only gone for maybe an hour or so, and the streets are already starting to flood around here. So crazy, crazy. I hope that whoever, if you guys are out there traveling, that you are safe and and be careful. Be careful that you don't hydroplane or something. Crazy weather. But this is what happens. End of fall or end of October here. So crazy weather is expected. We haven't even yet had a frost yet, which is crazy. Which means we haven't had Indian summer because you have to have a frost first. And actually, even with the rain, our weather has still been in the mid-50s. So for October, really can't complain. Some wet weather is to be expected. And at least it's not that nasty S word, that snow. Hey Luann, hello Philomena. How are you guys? Yeah, hey Wendy. Yes, we're doing well. And oh, you've got heavy rain throughout the week too over there in England. So maybe it's a whole across the northern hemisphere thing. I don't know what's going on. I am trying to figure out this lighting here to get it somewhat more natural. All right, hopefully. I just look really pale. Oh well. So I didn't realize that I had pulled out my Pretty Pumpkins stamp set and the Detailed Pumpkins dies because I haven't had a chance to play with them. I have been so absorbed in this warm weather and fall and things like that that I haven't really been transitioning yet. So I thought, oh my goodness, here we are, end of October. I better use this pumpkin set before before the season is completely over. So I've got some cute pumpkin cards I thought I would pair with the Harvest Meadow designer paper. So we'll still keep that pretty fall color theme going on. But yeah, it'll give us a chance to play with those pumpkin dies. And I didn't realize, but apparently it's Pumpkin Day. Who knew? I didn't know there was such a thing. I don't really know anything about it, but I guess it's fitting if we're playing with pumpkins on Pumpkin Day. And I can't really... Hey Diana, you caught me live. That's awesome. Hello, hello. Yeah, so I thought on this soggy day we would play with some pumpkins, channel things warm and cozy. So maybe I'll get you guys thinking of warm pumpkin things. Do you guys like pumpkin spice? I'm not a real big pumpkin pie person. It's growing on me as I get older. I never liked it as a kid. So I am sorry. If it's got enough like whipped cream on it, then then I will enjoy it here as an adult. But honestly, I know for me, I prefer pumpkin chocolate chip cookies. Oh my goodness, my cousin shared the best recipe with me. I think she got it from her friend Alyssa. So I've got to find that. I haven't made cookies in a while because if I make them, then I eat them, right? So I will look up that pumpkin chocolate chip cookie recipe. They're super moist and yummy because you use a can of pumpkin in the mix with it. So they're really yummy, really simple recipe. And the other favorite that if you've attended any of my classes, retreats in the fall season, I love to do pumpkin dip, which is basically pumpkin pie, the pumpkin pie filling, Cool Whip, yeah, Cool Whip is usually what I use. Pumpkin pie filling, Cool Whip. You add in your pumpkin pie spice and you mix it all up until it's creamy, and then eat it with Nilla wafers. Super simple, but it's so good. So those are a few of my favorite seasonal pumpkin things. So if you have a favorite pumpkin food or recipe or something like that, be sure to share that with me. I'd love that. And if you haven't already, please make sure that you sign up for my newsletter, because I think I should be sending out some of these recipes. I think that would be fun. So after the video here, I will put in the video description where I put all the details of everything. There's a link to sign up for my newsletter in there. You can also hit the about me, contact me, and yeah, and find me that way too. Oh, I'm getting some yums, and ooh, and Lori's craving oatmeal butterscotch cookies. I think, what do you call it? Do you go like oatmeal scotchies or something? I feel like my family has a unique name for those. Although I don't know, something about butterscotch I can't do. But my mom has, okay, you guys let me know. Have you ever heard of California Rangers? My mom has a recipe for what she's called California Rangers. And it's like oatmeal and chocolate chip. And I think it even has like cornflakes. It's kind of like everything you can find you throw in your cookie batter. Along with chocolate chips and things like that too. So, alright, I'm going to flip the camera and we'll get started here, because otherwise I could just talk about warm fall yummy cookies and goodness all afternoon. Lori says she's never heard of those. Alright, I will have to look up that recipe too. I know we've got it somewhere. Hey Kathy, welcome for joining us. Yep, and Karen says the winter temperatures are starting to creep in out west too. Aw. Okay, so as I'm flipping here, don't forget to like, subscribe, all that goodness. I've got my October host code here, HZFHKU6X. And for the remainder of October here, I'm going to put out there, anybody that places a $50 order with me will get a card kit for 6 cards, to each of 3 designs. And I actually thought that the couple of pumpkin cards that I'm going to share with you today would be good as part of those. So I'll show you 2 out of the 3 designs. How about that? Karen says that they call those monster cookies. Yeah, so I think there's a lot of different names for some of these maybe older cookie recipes and things like that. Yeah, so if you've got a good recipe, definitely let me know. And make sure, again, you sign up for my newsletter so that I can share those recipes with you as well. Okay, so like I said, we're going to be using the Harvest Meadow. And if you're not familiar with that, it does come in 12 by 12, but I just got little samplers here so that I can show you a little bit easier. So we've got our Bumblebee, Misty Moonlight. We've got some Calypso Coral with some hints of Cajun Craze, some Crumb Cake in here, a little bit of Soft Succulent, really pretty designs. We've got some sunflowers, all that fun goodness. All right, and so we are going to start out, if you're wondering, these are found on page 55. It's the Harvest Meadow paper. And then if you flip over to back to page 48, this is where the Pretty Pumpkins bundle can be found here as well. Super cute. Okay, so for the first one here, let's start out with a card base of Crumb Cake, 5.5 by 8.5. We'll go ahead and fold this. So this card will be portrait, vertical style here. I then cut a layer of Misty Moonlight at 4 by 5.25. So I thought we're gonna go a little off the traditional, not necessarily orange pumpkins here, but go with more of a Misty Moonlight pumpkin. Something fun like that. Okay, so before I glue this down, I wanna adhere my other layers so that way I can wrap my twine around here before I stick it down. But you can kind of get the idea here. All right, so we need a few different layers, and we're gonna mix our patterns. So I'm going to pull in this pretty Misty Moonlight, kind of this diamond pattern here. This is a 1 inch by 5 inch strip. And we're going to glue this down on the left edge first. So you will need 3 different patterns for this. I'm going to come in about 1/4 inch from each side. So let's try to get that even on the top and the bottom there. Okay, and then I'm going to come in on the far right side and use that pretty pattern that has a little bit of a sunflower, but it's got a little Misty Moonlight center in there. So we'll use this one. This piece is, what is this? I don't remember if I cut it as an inch and a half. Yes, I couldn't remember if I did 1.5 inches or 1.25 inches, but it is 1.5 inches. So again, we're going to come in off the right, try to get it even top and bottom and the right there. And then we'll fill in our gap with the reverse side here of the sunflowers with our little crumb cake wheat pattern. All right, so we've got lots of color contrast, all these fun patterns, and I'm going to butt this right up against my sunflowers and overlap a little bit here onto the Misty Moonlight. Hey Naomi, so glad that you found me. Oh yeah, if you're having trouble, make sure that you hit that notification bell so that you make sure you've got notifications turned on for YouTube here, and that way you should get an email and different things when I'm going live. That should help if you're missing me there. Karen said she saw a seaside spray colored pumpkin at a local pumpkin patch. Oh yeah, that sounds really neat. I've been seeing some really interesting pumpkins, and I don't know if they're still called pumpkins or if at that point they're called gourds, or perhaps it's some other kind of squash. I'm really not sure. It's definitely squash season. I cooked some spaghetti squash for dinner the other night. I love that. That was pretty tasty. And yeah, I love squash, some roasted butternut squash. That sounds good. To do a butternut squash soup. That's one of my favorites for a fall day. All right, so I want to put a little bit of ribbon on here, kind of hide this seam. So I've got some of the what is this called here? Diamond weave ribbon. So I could put that on there, a little bit of that like crochet trim, or I have some of this denim ribbon, and I'm excited because Stampin' Up! Is actually bringing back the denim ribbon. It coordinates with a collection of products that will be coming out in the spring catalog, which I know seems like a long ways off, but I did this like random search for Stampin' Up! Denim ribbon, and guess what? It showed up in the online store. So apparently it's one of these hidden items that's not in the catalog, but is still available for purchase. So if that's the case, we might as well use it, right? So what do you guys think? The denim or the diamond weave, the crochet? Which do you think we should use on here? Let me know. All right. Hey, Carmen. Glad you caught me live. Yeah, Luann says that those California Rangers sound like a kitchen sink cookie recipe. Yeah, exactly. I can see why Kara would say monster cookies too. Sounds fun. Oh, Naomi likes both. Well, that would be kind of fun. We could try that. Okay, we're getting a lot of votes for both. I think it is kind of like an even split, one or the other, so maybe we will do that compromise. Hey, Janelle, how are you? So let's start with the denim. I'm cutting that a little bit longer than this, so you probably need about 6.5 inches. All right, let's put our adhesive all the way around the back just so we have something for our ends to stick to kind of hold it in place as we go. So let's do this. Let's put some denim on here first. I'm actually going to slide it over to the left just a little bit more. Okay, come on, it's sticking to my fingers here. I guess I used enough adhesive. All right, and then let's try this then, since Naomi mentioned both. So let's do that too. Let's cut this a little bit. Again, about 6.5 inches there. And I'm gonna overlap a little bit on that. And we'll go with both. That's kind of neat. We've got lots of fun elements going on here. Yeah, the denim does give it a nice contrast. And the crochet gives it some nice texture. I am going to put a little adhesive over top of those ribbon ends because I don't want them popping loose. Make sure, I think my card base got turned around. So let's make sure I glue this on properly, and otherwise my card will be backwards. That happens from time to time. All right, yeah, so we've got some fun trim going on here. All right, and we can decide maybe if we want to do a little knot or something on here later. So I used this kind of solid with the ridges pumpkin die, and I die cut a Misty Moonlight pumpkin. So I thought for this, we'll stick this on with our, I've got the black mini dimensionals here from the black combo pack. So let's put a few of these on here. I like these because they are, they do kind of fit up at these little, on the little ridges. Okay, we've got lots. I trimmed my fingernails the other day, so now I don't have any, my nails are so short. Oops. Boy, can you guys hear it raining on the video? I don't know if the sound is picking that up. It's still pouring. It hasn't let up at all. Whew. Good day to be inside crafting, that's for sure. All right, let's just kind of line this up on the seam. That seems like a good spot there. And then let's come in with a few of our, we've got all these little pumpkin leaves here. So I cut some out of Cajun Craze and some out of Calypso to kind of pull in those fun colors, a little bit of contrast again. Let's continue to use our mini dimensionals here. And then we can kind of arrange these here on our card. Let's kind of scoot this around the stem a little bit. Oh, I'm so glad you guys love this pumpkin. Isn't that cute? All right, so we've got some fun colors coming in here. You just kind of put your leaves wherever, because you know they grow on vines. There's not really leaves everywhere, so we'll just kind of, let's layer these a little bit. There we go. And then, yeah, let's pull in a little bit of twine here and just do, I'm gonna loop that under the stem. Let me trim this off a little bit. I just want enough to do a little bit of a knot on the stem. I am gonna double knot it. I don't want it coming loose. Oops, come on, there we go. Okay. And I'm gonna trim that a little bit and then come in and unfray the ends. Make it a little wild, like pumpkin vine. You know, what's funny is I have found some tomatoes. Since we haven't had a frost, I had tomatoes still growing on my tomato plants here, and they some of the nicest looking ones I've had all season. So that was kind of nice surprise to have a couple of fresh tomatoes here. I was glad I went and checked. That was kind of fun. All right, so we've got some fun pumpkins there. I don't know, I'm kind of feeling this piece of twine. How about we do this? We'll tie this up here as well, kind of pull them, gather them together a little bit, and then do a little, I don't have a whole lot, so let's see if we've got enough to do a little bow with. What do you guys think? I think that's kind of cute. Little bow up there, and then we can secure it with a glue dot. Yeah, so definitely not your traditional pumpkin colors, but kind of fun. All right, so let me find my glue dots here. I don't want to pick my dots, so I'm gonna slide it off with my snips, and that way I can tuck it right underneath my knot, exactly where I want it. I think I kind of like how that gathers it and pulls those ribbons together. Kind of makes it a little more cohesive there as well. And then we'll pull in some metallic dots. Let's use these gold ones here. So we can come down here with a big one, and then we'll kind of do a little one. Let's do a couple of these up here. So what do you guys think? It's kind of fun, almost like a patchwork, so to speak, with all the different colors and patterns. And I had actually cut a little piece for a greeting, but I kind of think I like it without. I think I like it as it is, all nice and colorful and warm. Yeah, super fun. Okay, so the next one. Oh, Karen, hope you have a good afternoon at work. All goes well. Yeah, this is one of my favorite designer papers too, Janelle. Love the Harvest Meadow paper. So pretty. All right, so for the next project here, let's come in with our Calypso Coral. This time, again, we're at 5.5 by 8.5. When I do a set of cards, I always like to make them so they all have different but coordinating card bases. Since I used crumb cake on this one, going with the Calypso Coral on the second. I'm still going to follow that Misty Moonlight layer. Actually, this one is going to be a landscape, so horizontal. And I am going to go ahead and glue this one down, not using any ribbon, or at least that's not in the plan. You know, my cards always kind of take on a life of their own. I don't know what that is. A little piece of bleach or something. I don't know. Bug? I don't know. Who knows? All right, so we have our Misty Moonlight base. Then again, we need a couple of different patterns of our Harvest Meadow paper. So we've got a 1-inch strip. I'm going to use the Calypso Coral Vine side. That's actually the back side of the blue pattern we used here. So we'll do those on each end, and then come in with our sunflowers in the center. I think that's nice. It kind of pulls it all together. So these are 1 inch by, what did I do? 1 inch by 3 3/4. Okay, so our Misty Moonlight layer is 4 by 5 1/4. So our outside strips are 1 by 3 3/4. All right, so let's put those on first. The reason I do outsides first is because that way you can always tweak the middle and make sure that it, no matter how off you've spaced things, as long as the middle is even, then at least it kind of fools the eye a little bit. So the middle section here is 2.5 inches by 3 3/4. So actually I could have gone with 2 3/4 and had a little bit narrower spacing, but I think that's what I would do next time, is do 2 3/4 by 3 3/4. But nonetheless, I've been using a lot of this paper and maximizing all the pieces and kind of working with some scraps. So sometimes you take what's already cut in your scrap bag. Okay, so like I said, let's just make sure it's even on each side. Okay, let's see. Luann Googled the difference. A pumpkin has a hard, jagged stem, And the seeds are rich in fatty acids, whereas the stem of a squash is hollow and the seeds are rich in fiber and protein. Well, who knew? You can tell the difference between a pumpkin and a squash by the type of its stem. And then the seeds are a little bit different. Interesting. Yeah, we don't carve pumpkins or anything like that because we don't celebrate Halloween, but I do remember as a kid we would get a baking pumpkin and we would scoop out the seeds, and then my mom we'd take all the gunk, all the fiber off them, clean the seeds, and then we would roast them with a little bit of salt in the oven, and they made a nice crunchy snack. And it sounds like, yeah, very good for us, and fiber and protein and all of that good stuff. So thank you, Luann, for checking that out. That's interesting. Good to know there. All right, so of course I need to pull in a little bit of stitching. So I've got my colors and contours, scalloped contours here. Dies again. This is the middle die here. Gives us that nice stitched as well as scalloped edge. And then we need a layer of basic white. And so of course pulled in the scalloped rectangles. And again, you need the third size. Okay, so if you're counting from the smallest, it's 1 to the third size fits perfect with this particular scalloped contour die. And actually, we can go ahead and adhere these together. All right, so I'm going to just go ahead and tape on my stitched rectangle onto my Misty Moonlight scalloped contour piece. Yes, don't you love, these are like two of, well, you guys know anything stitched. So, but yeah, the scalloped contours and the stitched rectangles, definitely two of my most used die sets. Absolutely. All right, so let's stamp. This time we're going to stamp some pumpkins. We're going to continue with that Misty Moonlight theme. So this time I thought we'd do a cute little pumpkin trio. So I've pulled in, I've got my stamp all ready to go. And I thought we would go ahead and stamp that in Misty Moonlight. We'll just kind of carry out that theme here. Pretty, pretty. Okay. And what's nice too with this die set is that the dies coordinate with each of these. So we've got the perfect die for our little pumpkin trio. And then you've also got die cut pieces for the larger pumpkin. I realize my light is a little off there. For the larger pumpkin, and you've got these outline pieces go with the different vine and leaves there as well. And then, yeah, you get the bonus piece, the one we used on the first card, and then this really intricate detailed one as well. So great set here if you like autumn and if you're into a pumpkin or squash theme. All right, so through the magic to television here, we'll I pre-die cut one. And didn't they come out so nicely? All right, so I'm going to use my my blends on this. So I'm going to bring in just my little piece of chipboard to protect my work surface. Here, let's rotate that so we can have a cleaner edge. All right, so let's go with our light Calypso Coral, and then let's pull in, let's see, I've got Misty Moonlight here. Could do that. Let's do some soft succulent for the vine and things like that. And we don't have a bumblebee blend. We do have crumb cake. How about that? I'll pull in some crumb cake. And but you know what might work? I don't want to use daffodil either. It's a little too bright. I realize we don't have Mango Melody in the catalog anymore, but It was one of my favorites, so I'm still using them. They're still in my stash. Oh, Wendy says she loves these, and Luann says yes. No, she's talking about the scallop contours. The dies rock. All right, just checking through the comments. Oh yeah, Janelle agrees. Don't pick the glue dots. You don't want boogie fingers. That's right. I've taught you well. All right, so let's just get coloring here. All right, I'm going to use the dark crumb cake for my stems. Now that we've had our pumpkin versus squash stem trivia. All right, and then we'll pull the soft succulent, and we'll come in here for our leaves. So I'm going with my bold tip because I have a tendency to color outside the edges. So, so I trace first, and then I'll come in here with my painty tip. And I'm gonna do that same thing here on this other leaf. Yes. Janelle says yes. I've taught everybody well. Nobody likes boogie fingers. Aw. All right, how about we do, let's see here. Should we go, let's go kind of the Calypso Coral. We'll do that for the tall pumpkin here. Again, I'm just using the lightest one. Because I don't want it to be too, I can always go in with my dark blend and add more color if I want to, but I think I'm just gonna start with the light for now. And that way if it looks a little bit overwhelming, then we can work with that. Okay. Actually, that's not too bad. I kind of like that. So let's test it out. Like I said, we can always go back in and add a little bit more. Okay. Yeah. So we'll just add a few little highlights with the darker one here. Love my blends. Oh, yep, that looks nice. Okay. So how about we do, let's do a little blue pumpkin. How about that? So we'll go over here. We'll make the little baby one. In our Misty Moonlight. Again, this is the lighter color. And since these are fictional pumpkins, kind of like Cinderella, we can make them any color that we want. All right, and then we're gonna come in with, this is the Mango Melody. So if you still have this in your stash, then good for you. Love this one. Honestly, I don't know why we don't have a medium yellow anymore, but Stampin' Up! Must have a good reason for it. I don't know. Okay. All right, I'm gonna pull in the dark on that as well because I've got a little too much blending, and I've got a little green happening here around the edges that I don't really want. So yes, that's what happens when you mix blue and yellow, right? Okay. All right, so I think those are cute, nice and fun and colorful. Alrighty, and we'll take these and add on, let's see, I want to put these kind of, let's arrange it before we stick anything down. Thinking kind of off the edge like that. And how about we do a sentiment, since we didn't leave room for one on the first card. How about this? If friends were pumpkins, I'd pick you. Aww, isn't that sweet? Okay, so let's stamp that with our, I've got the Misty Moonlight handy, so let's go with that. Okay, let's make sure. Let's stamp this one first. Otherwise, we might not have room for it. So I'm going to put this right up here at the top. Okay. So I'm glad I didn't put dimensionals on the back of that yet, because otherwise my stamping wouldn't have come out even. All right, so now we can flip it over. We can add our dimensionals. They're in my little adhesive bag here. Okay. I think these are coming out super cute. So again, if you like these projects and you'd like the kit to make them, along with a third design, yeah, make sure we glue this right side up, then if you place an order in my online store between today, what is today, October 26th, and the end of the month, October 31st, then I will send you a kit to make 6 cards, 2 each of 3 designs. So you'll get to make 2 of each of these, as well as 2 of a third design, which will be a surprise. Okay. Let's see here. Yeah, actually, I think rather than center, let's move it just a little bit over here towards the edge. Okay. And then again, we'll pull in our metallic dots. And we can kind of do a little, we'll just fill in some of that blank space with a couple little dots, and then put one over here too. Voila. Perfect. So there we have it, our 2 Harvest Meadow Pretty Pumpkin cards. So we've mixed our kind of our late summer. We're transitioning into mid-fall now. But I was so glad to be able to finally pull out my pumpkins set, the Pretty Pumpkins bundle here with the detailed pumpkins dies. Now, if you do go in the online store here in the US, it shows that the pumpkin dies are back ordered. However, they are scheduled to ship November 1st, and that is next Monday. So it's really just a few days away. So don't let that scare you. You can still order the bundle. It's all good. And these, like I said, in the catalog, they're here on page 48. So you can get the bundle for $45.75, or you can purchase the items separately. If you do the bundle, then you save 10%. But yeah, some great fun projects there. And let me give a shout out to my team member Kim, who made this really cute design in one of her Facebook videos. She made this for our team swap too. But look how it's so simple but so elegant, where she just she used pale papaya and Cajun craze. I like that combination, where she stamped the pumpkins in the sentiment, and then she used the pearls, but she colored those with her Cajun craze blends. So isn't that pretty too? I think that would be really cute. And even like the Misty Moonlight color, adding some in there too. But so many different ideas that you can use there in these pretty fall cards. All right, so I hope you've enjoyed today's video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, thumbs up, hit that notification bell, share the love. You guys know the routine. Thank you so much for stamping with me today. And yes, I'm sure Kim will appreciate how much you're all sending her love too for the pretty card that she made. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy some warm, cozy time in the craft room today. And don't get washed away if you're having crazy rainy weather like I am. Yeah, so get out those stamps and dies and and cozy up in the craft room. Yeah, absolutely. All right, well, thank you. We look forward to stamping with you on Friday. Alrighty, take care, everybody. Bye-bye.